everybody, this is Maureen Kamari of Amari Baking Center. Today I'll be doing a live on fondant, and I just wanted to share a concept that I know we've all seen on fondant fault lines. So I'm just going to show you a simple way of doing it and mix it up a little bit with marbling of fondant so that you can know how to marble that fondant. So I just have a little demo here on a marble fondant that has done a fault line. And then I also have just a block color right here with some gold. So this is what I'm talking about, guys. I know we all know the buttercream fault line, but this has started growing in popularity too. I might touch a little bit on how to do stencils. I'll show you a little bit, and then maybe I'll do it in another live. Oh, there we are, on how to go about it. But I'll touch on it just a little, guys, all right? So now I'm gonna need some fondant, right? But I do wanna explain right here, guys. I will be using this cake, which I have already covered with fondant. This is it's actually 5.5-inch diameter cakes, and I've just kind of layered them and put buttercream, and then placed fondant on them. Just one thin layer of fondant, because I will be putting another layer of fondant around. So my concept is to bring it right here. So I'll be showing you how to do this. So this is end result, but first we'll work here with some fondant. Remember, you want to keep your fondant wrapped up in cling film, like double cling film it if you need to. So I basically want to show you almost sort of how to marble it, and then on top of that we're actually going to do the actual cake decoration. So what you want to do, guys, I just kneaded this a little bit, by the way, before. You can have a fondant mat. You can knead this with a little bit of icing sugar and or cooking oil, depending on if you have a fat-based recipe. I know it can be really bulky working with these gloves, but we all know we need to use them. So I wanted to mention something. When you're doing this, I'm doing this because this icing sugar sometimes can be lumpy, the one we got. So make sure you gotta get a good brand that's not too lumpy. And because my fondant is really sticky, guys, when you're doing this fondant fault line, you actually want to try and make sure your fondant is a little stiff, because it's gonna start falling off. So if you find yours is really stretchy, because remember, when you're using fondant, it's used for different things. So sometimes you do want stretchy, really soft, and sometimes you do want it a little bit set. So you tend to look at what you're using the fondant for you to know what consistency or stretchiness you want it at, basically. So what I'm doing is adding some sugar to make it a little stiff, guys. That's what's happening right here. And then what I'm gonna do is show you one of the most simplest way to marble your fondant. And that's just kind of taking 3 or 2 pieces of fondant that are a different color and just putting them together. You can twist it a little bit this way, but you don't want to knead it so much, because remember, you want to keep that marbling. All right. So because I'm really making like a rectangular shaped fondant, this is how you see me leaving it this way. Now, because I'm about to show you something, I'm going to cover this with a cloth a little bit and then show you what I'm gonna do, because you need to know the length of your the fondant. I'm gonna use a tape measure, guys, just to see how long it needs to go. So I've gotten to about 12 or 13 inches. I'm gonna do 13 inches. Then you gotta check the length too. I don't want to go all the way to the top. I want to get somewhere maybe like where the 2-inch mark is, or 2.5. So I'm gonna go with 2.5 and 12 or 13, guys. So it's always good to have a kitchen tape measure. This we do not use for anywhere else. We don't tape measure ourselves and then come back to the kitchen with it. So you want to keep it really hygienic, guys. And so what I'm trying to make sure right now, guys, is you don't want this to be so thin when you're doing the fondant fault line. And then remember, I just want it to be 12 to 13 inches, right? Let's confirm. This is longer than that. It's about 15. And then I wanted just 2.5. So I'm already there, right? So what I'll do, I'll actually come and make sure the bottom, sorry, this is a bit thick over here. You do want it to be a bit even. Make sure your fondant is moving, right? And then I'm gonna come here and make a straight line. Make sure the bottom of where it's going is straight, and cut off maybe some excess over here and a little bit of excess over here. I will be applying this. Now what you can do is add a little bit of water, vodka, whichever works. Vodka does tend to catch better, but I use a spray bottle to help me kind of stick just at the bottom, guys. Okay, so I've identified that my front, let me see which is a good front, maybe right here. Okay, so I'm gonna start applying. Let me apply, guys, and then I'll show you. So I have some gold. You can get gold from Wilton, from Top Serve Limited, or you can get it from Hope Cakes. They sell this really, really deep gold. And this time I'm not even gonna add anything. I'm just gonna dust a little bit of gold on top. As you can see, gold does have a lot of flyaways, so you might have to come later, kind of, you know, wipe this. So I would spend some time cleaning this up, but not so much, because, you know, this glitter is everywhere, guys. So this is the stencil, guys, I'll be using. But let me tell you, I'll not be using the whole stencil. I'm just using little segments so I can show you how you can do stencils on your cake. Now, this is not how I'll tell you to complete this design, but for this part, we can do this design. What I'm doing is taking little parts and finding like the flower in this, if you guys can see the flower right here. And all I'll do is just kind of brush the gold on there. And there you go, you have a nice little pattern going there. So I'm using just egg yellow color. We get our yellows. We got these actually from TK. So I'm just picking up some of this and bringing it over here. There you go, guys. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? If there's a part of your cake you don't like, you can always use colors to just kind of cover that. Except for, guys, what I wanted to do is actually bring it here to cover my little spot there that I wasn't too sure about, guys. So if you're never sure about your design, there you go. That's how you finish it off. So guys, here's my complete fault line design for my round cake. I've covered this with fondant, done a fault line, done some gold on the side for a really nice look, marbled the fondant. I showed you how to do the marbling on the fondant. And finally, we finished off with a cute little rose in there. And we're good to go. So guys, it's been real. It's been fun. I appreciate it, guys. Please be safe, wear masks, social distance, and all that fun.